Oh, we've had the minute side here in South America. Kick off going right to left in their traditional yellow. Against Ecuador, 8 wins and 2 draws, haven't conceded in 5 games as well. You have to go all the way back to 2004 for the last time Ecuador managed a win against Brazil. That was in World Cup qualification and in Quito. Gabriel Barbosa lays it off to Everton. And Everton looking for the ball in behind. He's found an Enlogi and he goes down in the box. Told to get to his feet by Roberto Tobar, and Ecuador clear. Immediately it's Brazil though, on the front foot. Marquinhos looks to thread one through. Robert Arboleda equal to it. It's a hopeful ball down the line in the vague direction of Enner Valencia. He's not going to get anywhere near that. Douglas Luiz caught in possession. Shot comes in from distance. Not the best strike in the world. It's an easy one for Alisson. Chiche watching on. 10 straight wins for his side. His best run so far, the best streak since he took over from Dunga. And despite the nature of that win against Colombia on Wednesday, still very much the team to beat here in this year's Copa America. Well, that was the initial challenge in the penalty box, and then Lodgy making that little underlap of Everton and trying to latch onto that through ball. Ecuador now come away down the right. Preciado cuts it back towards the edge of the box. He's not going to find Moises Caicedo. The shot eventually comes in from Estupiñán and is well off target. Gustavo Alfaro, the Argentine coach of Ecuador, hoping that he's not going to oversee yet another Copa America disaster for Ecuador. Has to be said, their record in the tournament is a poor one that doesn't really do them justice. Some of the sides of recent years that have been a lot better than their Copa America record suggests. Yet to win in this year's Copa, but a problem which runs far, far deeper. Haven't beaten one of the CONMEBOL sides at the Copa America since 2001, when they beat Venezuela. The 2 wins they've chalked up in between 2001 and now came against Mexico in 2015 and Haiti in 2016. They may yet still get through to the quarterfinals of this year's tournament without picking up a win. Much of that will depend on what goes on between Venezuela and Peru in the other game going on at the moment. Enlogi goes back to Marquinhos. Eder Militao. Was the partnership chosen in central defence for the opening game against Venezuela. Since then, Chiche has been able to rotate the 2 of them with Thiago Silva as well. And Aston Villa midfielder Douglas Luiz making his first appearance of this year's Copa America. Fabinho. Everton. That's nicely worked out of danger there. Brazil come forward on the far side with Lucas Paquetá. Gabriel Barbosa's dropped deep to get involved in the build-up play. Here's Paquetá again and looks for the return ball for Gabriel Barbosa. Neymar certainly doesn't look too upset with not starting this evening. A rare opportunity to watch Brazil from the sidelines. It's a foul given away by Diego Palacios. Came into the side because of that positive COVID-19 test today. Damian Diaz, 21-year-old, plays for Los Angeles FC. And Palacios playing there on the left should just free up Pervis Estupiñán to push further forward. The two of them working on that left-hand side. Free kick opportunity out on that far side for Brazil. Swung into the box, headed away by Moises Caicedo, out for a throw. Paquetá in the corner with Pervis Estupiñán, and eventually losing out. Ayrton Preciado trying to burst away, unable to do so. And Douglas Luiz is able to bring Brazil forward once more. Fabinho clips it in the direction of Hernan Lodge, who does well to flick that on. Everton looks to go on the outside of Angelo Preciado. Not going to get anything out of him. The Genk fullback does well to pick up a throw. Everton so far has been in and out of the Brazil team. The winger now playing his football with Benfica. But don't forget that 2 years ago in this competition on home soil, Everton was very much one of the key men for Brazil as they won the title, earning himself that move to Portugal. Moises Caicedo's down here. I think it's just how he lands there on. Immediately clutches his left knee as he landed. I don't think it was anything in the challenge with Douglas Luiz. But Ecuador and Brighton will be hoping this isn't serious. Had a very interesting first 45 minutes against Peru, where Ecuador were on top, went into their 2-goal lead. Last week, Moises Caicedo showed the flashes of quality that those who have seen Moises Caicedo play in South America before that move to Brighton probably won't have been surprised by, but for Brighton supporters watching, it will have been a performance which excited the promise that maybe this 19-year-old, one of the top talents in South America before that move, Caicedo is up and moving, which is good to see. From a truly spectacular opener. It was a speculative effort from not far off halfway. And when Alisson lost his footing, for just a moment it looked as though it might drop in. Well, I think it's Moises Caicedo. I think it is Moises Caicedo that's gone down again. And on this occasion there is a stretcher on the pitch. Well, it's an early blow for Ecuador. Tried to get back into the action, and under no challenge at all, just went back down to the turf. Worrying signs for the 19-year-old midfielder, and an early headache for Gustavo Alfaro, forced into a change here after 12 minutes. For now, Ecuador down to 10. Douglas Luiz, and lodging back to Douglas Luiz. Roberto Firmino tries to spin there in midfield, and in the end Brazil are forced all the way back to Eder Militao. Fabinho looking for a forward pass, instead has to go sideways, and now it's flicked onto the left-hand side for Everton. All 10 players for Ecuador back deep in their own half. Will perhaps be buoyed by that Colombia. Shot comes in from Paquetá, it's saved. Bounces awkwardly there for Galíndez. And Ecuador are able to clear. As I was just saying before, maybe buoyed by that performance from Colombia despite coming away with nothing. For large parts of the game, Colombia were able to frustrate Brazil and really limit them to few chances. And it wasn't until that goal that, of course, sparked so much debate. Coming off the referee, an advantage being played before Roberto Firmino heading in the equaliser. Before that moment, really did look as though Colombia were going to be able to see out a 1-0 win, having seen very little of the ball, not creating too many chances themselves, but just taking the one that did come along their way early. And there is a sense that if Brazil are going to lose in this year's Copa America, it is going to take a defensive performance which just simply frustrates them and is able maybe to either nick a win, take them to penalties when it gets to the knockout stages. There's very few sides in South America are going to be able to go toe-to-toe with Brazil, you feel. Free kicks taken early. A little threaded pass there for Roberto Firmino, and it's a nice little flick. Cross comes in, it's Gabigol up there trying to win the initial header. Can't do so. And the ball comes back to Douglas Luiz. A heavy first touch, but still able to keep the ball. Cross this time comes in from the left, and it's over everyone. And we'll go through to the far side. Diego Palacios will just let it run out of play. Interested to see the little reshuffle then from Gustavo Alfaro. I think Alan Franco will probably slot in more centrally in place of Moises Caicedo, allowing Ángel Mena to play out wide. As you can see, number 21, Alan Franco, is indeed now playing far more centrally, as we saw him in the lineup at kickoff. He's going to go in there instead of Moises Caicedo. He's going to have some defending to do. Roberto Firmino. Gabriel Barbosa gets the ball back, and Firmino just can't bring it under control, and Preciado can clear. Preciado taking his time over this throw, eventually down the line. And Ecuador unable to do anything with it. Good ball through from Douglas Luiz. Roberto Firmino flicks it forward for Gabriel Barbosa. Holds the ball up well. Can't quite get away from Incapaí, and then flies into a challenge there. We play on, and Brazil still in possession. Douglas Luiz again spins, finds Everton out wide. Fernan Lodgi getting forward from left back. Goes back to Douglas Luiz. It's a good ball across the face. Lucas Paquetá with a clever little flick. Barbosa gets there first. There was no flag. Hernan Galíndez making the save. Well, the linesman looks like he got that spot on, and it's a very good stop, in fact, from Galíndez. Gabriel Barbosa has already scored in this year's competition, scored off the bench against Venezuela. Got a hefty whack off Angel Mena there to his head. Moments later, the best chance of the game falls to him. Galíndez with an excellent stop. Only his second appearance for the national team, Galíndez, born in Argentina. Made his debut in that 2-2 draw against Peru on Wednesday.
¡No sirve! ¡Ángel! ¡No sirve ahí! ¡Dale, mirá, pelota, mirá, pelota! ¡Dale, dale, dale!
Still 0-0 between Venezuela and Peru after 20 minutes. So no change in the group. As things stand, Venezuela would be going out. And Lodgi. Back to Douglas Luiz. Hither Militao. Paquetá into Fabinho. Ecuador so far doing a decent job of stifling Brazil, making it tricky for them to play through. Just that one chance for Gabriel Barbosa a moment ago. Here's Eder Militao increasing the tempo, clips the ball forward. It's going to have too much on it to find Roberto Firmino. And Galíndez can come to claim with ease.
Rebote, pelealo, pelealo. Ahí, ahí. Más cerca.
Everton. Just a kick in the back there from Angelo Preciado, free kick, and Moises Caicedo there with a hefty ice pack on his knee. A hopeful sign that maybe it's not as serious as it first appeared. The fact that the young midfielder is just sitting on the bench with ice on the knee rather than anything else. Mena. Mena finds Estupiñán. First real occasion Estupiñán can get down the left, finds a good cross as well. Enner Valencia tumbled in the box. Faint shouts for a penalty. In the meantime, Everton comes away for the other, at the other end for Brazil. Can't quite get away from Preciado on this occasion. Douglas Luiz. And here's Everton again, now in a bit more space and with a bit of support from Hernan Lodji. Here is the Atletico Madrid fullback. Back into Everton. Everton to the byline. Tries to beat his man. A little bit too clever, I think, there. And Hernan Galíndez is off his line to make a simple collect. Well, Everton loves cutting inside. When he plays out wide on the left, not the traditional winger that's going to look to go to the byline and deliver the crosses. I think on that occasion he probably should have done, and Ecuador win the ball high up the pitch here. Here's Mena. Mena held up by Marquinhos. And they've lost a lot of the momentum there and had to go all the way back to Robert Arboleda. For a moment it looked as though Ecuador may have a chance. Here's Mena again. Nicely worked inside. Again, no way through into the Brazilian penalty area. Preciado breaks down the right and he finds a cross. Goes to the back post, headed back across goal and straight into the hands of Alisson. Not surprising to see Ecuador revert to form and put those crosses in the box. No side in the Copa America this year has crossed the ball more on average. Preciado and Estupiñán at left back and right back love to get forward and provide some of that width. Firmino has dropped very deep and almost caught in possession there from Enner Valencia. Eventually works it to Liverpool teammate Fabinho. Plays a little 1-2 and goes forward, clipping the ball over for Gabriel Barbosa, brings it down. Gabriel Barbosa back to Lucas Paquetá. Fabinho lays it off once again. Hernan Lodji. Everton works it back onto his right foot and tries to find a pass on the edge of the box. It's cut out only as far as Fabinho. Marquinhos. Everton. Again, in onto his right. The reaction from Lucas Paquetá tells you it was a decent one. Took a touch on the way through. It's going to be a corner to Brazil. Flicked on at the near post. A chance for Ecuador to break. Long ball hit forward, searching for Diego Palacios. He's not going to get there. Eder Militao, Marquinhos, and Brazil start again. Emerson. Haven't seen too much of Emerson at right back. Brazil mainly down this near side with Enlogi and Everton providing that width. Fabinho has to go back, and Brazil patiently stroke the ball around in defence. Marquinhos goes long looking for Gabriel Barbosa, headed down, and Piero Incapié cleans up momentarily for Ecuador. Ecuador can't get their foot on the ball at the moment. And then Enlogi, Everton back to the full-back. Those two still combining down this near side to try and open up Ecuador in those wide areas. Here's Douglas Luiz. Fabinho. Marquinhos. Quickly played there by Douglas Luiz, trying to just increase the tempo and make life difficult for Ecuador, who once they're in settled into that back five are proving tough to break down. An opportunity again for Ecuador to come forward. It's a ball played down the line looking for Enner Valencia, gets a little shove from Eder Militao, and well, he looked for the cross, he only had Ayrton Preciado up with him, and it's easily defended by Brazil. Gabriel Barbosa, the offside flag comes up on this occasion. Beat the flag once before, only to see his effort saved by Galíndez. On this occasion, the Flamengo striker just a fraction off. But a wag of the finger from Gabigol, but it looks as though the officials once again got that one right. Luiz wins a free kick there. Just leans into Enner Valencia, invites the contact. Brazil go all the way back to Alisson, who, aside from that scare with the shot that came from almost halfway from Enner Valencia, has had very, very little to do so far. Palacios tries to get away for Ecuador down the left, unable to do so. Without a win in 5 now, drawn the last two 2-2 draws against Venezuela and Peru. Lost 3 before that. In this run of 5 without a win, coming off a previous run of 4 straight wins, so very much up and down in the form guide, Ecuador. Really positive start to World Cup qualification, which has just hit a blip before the Copa America, and they've carried that form in to the tournament so far. On occasions, like the first half against Peru last time out, you can see the signs of life and so many of those good young players that we've seen coming through in recent years in Ecuador. But those inconsistencies, even within the 90 minutes, coming back to haunt them. This is the best moment of the game. Wonderful little pass from Lucas Paquetá, almost creating the opportunity for Gabriel Barbosa. The only real moment of quality so far here in Goiânia. Still goalless. Arboleda hits it long in the direction of Ayrton Preciado. Neymar watching on. He's been as dangerous as ever in this year's Copa America, Neymar. 2 goals and 2 assists already in this year's competition, as he closes in on Pelé's record number of goals for the national team. But his record under Chiche, absolutely staggering. And despite the talented players that Brazil are able to call on, very much a different side without Neymar. Arboleda caught in possession by Roberto Firmino, and then he has his pocket picked. Jackson Mendes goes back to Galíndez. 10 minutes before half-time, still goalless here between Brazil and Ecuador. Still goalless as well in Brasilia with Venezuela against Peru. So no change in Group B as things stand. As things stand, Venezuela will be going out of the Copa America. Ecuador will be going through in 4th place. And will play the winners of Group A, which at the moment looks as though it will be Argentina in the quarter-finals. And Peru, with the point, would finish 2nd in the group, jumping above Colombia. Plenty can change between now and full time, of course. So first goal for Brazil for Éder Militão on his 13th appearance. Remains to be seen, really, for Chiche's first choice central defensive pairing. Éder Militão, Marquinhos and Thiago Silva, the 3 that have been rotated so far. And Éder Militão will be hoping that just maybe he can force his way into that selection for Chiche going forward into the knockout phase. So as things stand, that does indeed change the group. It would be Ecuador now going out of the Copa America if things stay the same between Venezuela and Peru. They're still 0-0, and with the point, Venezuela would climb up into 4th, Ecuador would go out. So unless Ecuador can get themselves an equaliser, very much down to hoping Peru can do them a favour here. Éder Militão. Fine header. Can Ecuador react? Estupiñán. Easily dispossessed. And Emerson can come back the other way. Roberto Firmino. Emerson still going down the right. And it's a good covering challenge from Incapaí. Preciado. Estupiñán hits this one long down the left, and there's going to be an offside flag. Well, Diego Palacios, just for a moment, the wrong side of Emerson, and a lot of space down that left-hand side. Free kick given against Pérez Estupiñán on Lucas Paquetá. Noji bursts away from Ayrton Preciado to keep possession. Brazil, as they did against Venezuela and Peru, looking comfortable without really needing to get out of about second gear so far. Mendes back to Angelo Preciado. Mendes, Arboleda, and Brazil push Ecuador back to goalkeeper Galíndez. Marquinhos up well above Enner Valencia, but it drops to Angelo Preciado. Just unable to get anything out of Preciado as an attacking force so far. Lucas Paquetá swivels, looks for a pass in on that far side for Emerson. He can't bring it under control. Diego Palacios back covering in at left back, does enough. Here's Robert Arboleda, who plays his football in Brazil with Sao Paulo. Arboleda and Incapaí have played all 3 games so far at the heart of that central defence. Arboleda, great deal more experience than Incapaí. And despite the team struggles, Incapaí particularly is really beginning to attract attention. The 19-year-old plays for Talleres in Argentina. And a lot of scouts keeping an eye on the centre-back. Here he is, just letting the ball drift over his head and through to his goalkeeper. Mendes has just dropped in between the 2 central defenders to try and help Ecuador play out. In the end, Galíndez just has to go direct. Then Valencia will keep this in with Angelo Preciado. Here is the fullback. Goes infield to Mena. Alan Franco works it into space for Estupiñán, who can cross into the box, in towards the back post. And Valencia it was darting in there. And there's 3 players down just on the edge of the 6-yard box. There's going to be 3 minutes of added time here in Goiânia. And Valencia, in his attempts to get onto the end of this Estupiñán cross, ended up taking out Enanlogi and Everton. All 3 men stayed down. And Logi certainly seemed to come off the worst out of the three of them. No surprise that he's the man still down getting treatment. Gabriel Barbosa taking the opportunity just before half-time to have a few additional words with manager Chiche. Just the one chance really so far this evening for Gabigol, a player who is always going to generate the debate of whether or not he's quite at the level you'd expect for a player to lead the line for Brazil. Prolific in South America, helped Flamengo to win the 2019 Copa Libertadores, but because of that failed spell when he went to Inter Milan a few years ago, it's always going to be those questions about whether he's quite cut out for the very top level of the game. Angelo Preciado. Maybe one last chance for Ecuador in this first half. Arboleda. Incapay. Palacios. It's behind for a corner. We've had the 3 minutes of added time here in the first half. This corner kick will surely be the last action. One last chance for Ecuador to come in at half-time level. Just need to get the ball into the penalty box. Estupiñán. Cross to Angelo Preciado. Preciado. Arboleda looks for the return ball. Preciado. Low cross. It's poked away. Out for a throw, and that could be it. It is indeed. Roberto Tobar blows his whistle, and it's half-time here in Goiânia. Brazil lead by a 1-0 thanks to Eder Militao's header. And as things stand with results elsewhere, Ecuador are going out of this year's Copa America. 0-0 between Venezuela and Peru, 1-0 here between Brazil and Ecuador. A big 45 minutes coming up to see which 4 teams from Group E will be progressing to the quarter-finals and who will be out in the cold. We'll be back in just a short while with the second half.
Na devolução sim, para trás pode isso, Gabi. Daqui não sai! Daqui não sai! Bom! Ele vai mostrar!
It's been an early goal in Brasilia in the other game. Peru lead Venezuela by a 0-0. André Carrillo has given Peru the lead. So changes again in Group B. And now Ecuador are going through as things stand. Venezuela drop back to the bottom of Group B. Ecuador will be going through despite defeat to Brazil as things stand. Long throw into the box, headed away, the edge of the box, Preciado volleys, takes a deflection. And Allison had to help that over the crossbar. It's going to be a corner. Pervis Estupiñán with that long throw. An awkward deflection that Allison had to be aware of. Corner for Ecuador. Ayrton Preciado will take it. Headed away at the near post by substitute Danilo. Ayrton Preciado leaves the throw for Angelo Preciado. Ecuador pick up another throw. Ball eventually breaks for Ayrton Preciado. Makes his way across. A nice little ball forward into Valencia. Gets the shot away into the side netting. It's well played by Ayrton Preciado, who looked as though he was going to try and open up the space for the shot. Instead, played that little reverse pass into the run of Valencia. And the record goal scorer's shot took a deflection on its way in to take their fate in their own hands. Angel Mena brings Gustavo Alfaro's side level here against Brazil. So with Venezuela currently losing to Peru, that equaliser doesn't change the group as such. Ecuador still in fourth in the group, Venezuela still going out as things stand. But Ecuador, with the superior goal difference, would mean that even a draw for Venezuela wouldn't be enough. So Venezuela, if this result stands, need to win against Peru. Reminder there of the lineups then, if you're just joining us. For Brazil, Alisson in goal, Emerson, Marquinhos, Eder Militao and Danilo, who's come on for Enan Lodji, Fabinho, Douglas Luiz, Lucas Paquetá, Everton, Roberto Firmino and Gabriel Barbosa. Just that one change through injury. Likewise for Ecuador, one change. The goal scorer, Angel Mena, came on for Moises Caicedo. So it's Galíndez, Angelo Preciado, Robert Arboleda, Piero Incapay, Pervis Estupiñán, Jackson Mendes, Alan Franco, Angel Mena, Diego Palacios, Ene Valencia and Ayrton Preciado. 10 minutes gone here in Goiânia. 1-1 between Brazil and Ecuador. Roberto Firmino, Gabriel Barbosa. It's been a somewhat lethargic start to the second half for Brazil, who did certainly look as though we're just cruising to yet another win against South American opposition at half-time. Hasn't really looked stretched, and without playing particularly well, had found the goal. And you really would have banked on Chiche's Brazil of just being able to see it out, probably ending 2 or 3. Instead, they find themselves level again. Estupiñán, up and ended there from Emerson. Catching his ankles. Fires that free kick long. Finds Ayrton Preciado one way or the other, and the cross comes in. Ene Valencia challenging, and it's a good header behind by Eder Militao. The only question was whether or not Ecuador had it in them to put Brazil under the pressure. We knew they had to come out and try and find something. Otherwise, they were relying on results elsewhere. They've certainly done that at the start of this second half. asking questions of Brazil. Another corner, this time headed away by Eder Militao. Still with Ecuador. Ayrton Preciado crosses again, it takes a deflection and Fabinho helps it on its way. But the ball back with the blue shirt. Ecuador looking to come forward again. Here's Ener Valencia. And he wins a throw off Lucas Paquetá. Pervis Estupiñán appears to be lining up another long throw. Instead just drops it off short to Mena. Mena trying to work his way to the byline. Still has possession, up against two. Probably settle now for a corner. Instead gives away. And he does have a corner. It looks as though it was Mena who just poked it out from underneath the foot of Emerson. Just there, the replay seems to back up that claim as well, but instead it's a corner to Ecuador regardless. Estupiñán. Oh, it's dropped in the box. His claims for a handball there as it dropped. Roberto Tobar says play on and Ecuador still in possession, but we'll take a look at that, no doubt, in a moment. Ayrton Preciado. Ecuador forced all the way back. Jackson Mendes. Angelo Preciado. Alan Franco. Preciado. Arboleda. And as we approach the hour mark, it's been a second half with Ecuador well on top. Well worth their equaliser on the balance of this second half. Arboleda. It's a long switch over to this near side, looking for Estupiñán. And Estupiñán could get there, it just runs off him. It's going to go behind for another corner. Well, this was the shout that you saw. Ener Valencia was leading it. Absolutely nothing in that. Diego Palacios standing over yet another corner. Once again headed away, but drops at the back post for Ayrton Preciado. Lays it off on the overlap for Angelo Preciado, on the cross almost creates a bit of a panic there in the penalty area. Hacked away. Feels like an odd situation to see Brazil being the team pegged back like this, unable to keep the ball. Mena wins a throw, but the momentum remains with Ecuador. There's another half appeal there from Angelo Preciado. Marquinhos, arms tucked behind his back, flicking maybe an elbow on the way past, but not much else he could do with his hands linked like that behind his back. And Brazil ready changes. Casemiro and Vinicius Junior getting ready to come on. It's been a flat second half from Brazil. Wasn't a great first half, in truth, but second best since the restart. Chiche feels the need to change things up. Long ball looking for Diego Palacios, and it's a very good, strong covering challenge from Eder Militao. Diego Palacios has stayed down. Roberto Firmino. The first man off to be replaced by the youngster Vinicius Junior. I think Douglas Luiz is coming off for Casemiro. Casemiro, who scored that 100th minute winner against Colombia on Wednesday. Preciado crosses from the right. Marquinhos is there to head it away. Ayrton Preciado has to go back, but still the ball remains with Ecuador. Incapay. Alan Franco has indeed just slotted in to that central role since the injury to Moises Caicedo. And what an impact the replacement Angel Menez had. It's Menez equaliser that has Ecuador level here. Brazil just pushing up now, trying to apply some pressure on Ecuador in their own half. They've begun to sit really deep in this second half, inviting that pressure on. And just wonder how long it might be until we see that man Neymar. Ecuador have never beaten Brazil in the Copa America, 14 games. Brazil have won 12 of the 14, 2 draws. Last time they met, in fact, ended goalless in 2016. But otherwise, whether it's the Copa America or not, definitely a matchup that's been utterly dominated by Brazil. Player still hasn't scored for the national team at senior level and won't have many better opportunities than that. Here he is again, trying to get away from Preciado, and does so. Vinicius, held up by Robert Arboleda. Nice little pass into the penalty box for Paquetá, who goes back to Casemiro. Casemiro crosses, got all the way through to the back post again, and it's just about put behind by Diego Palacios. It's Emerson arriving. Despite the missed chance, those changes have just given Brazil a fresh impetus. Little no-look pass there into the box. Despite that miss, no lack of confidence there from Vinicius. Corner kick for Brazil. This time drops over the head of Eder Militao, and Ecuador can look to bring it away. Mena. I thought he had a free kick from Fabinho, and instead it goes against him. Obstruction. Mena thought he should have a free kick there for the initial challenge. Instead, it's another free kick for Brazil on the far side. Similar kind of position that saw Eder Militao challenge and win the header for the opening goal. And Eder Militao stays in an offside position initially, now comes back onside. Goes to challenge for this one, it's headed up into the air. Second ball drops and Ecuador clear. Danilo goes back to Alisson. Still 1-0 in Brasilia between Venezuela and Peru. Peru leading there with 20 minutes remaining. Lucas Paquetá, Fabinho. And since the introduction of Casemiro and Vinicius, Brazil now beginning to see a bit of the ball and apply pressure once again on Ecuador. Here's Vinicius. Just gets the ball trapped under his own feet and then gives away a free kick. Plenty of tussling at those set pieces. Casemiro, you can see there, was having his shirt pulled by Angelo Preciado and eventually goes to ground. Preciado really running the risk with VAR in operation. Anytime a player grabs a handful of shirt like that in a set piece, run the risk very much of the referee going back to take a look at it. Everton clips this one downfield in the direction of Gabriel Barbosa. Not enough on it. Piero Incapié brings it down on his chest and tries to set Ecuador away once again. It's a hopeful pass down that left-hand side in the direction of Diego Palacios. Emerson puts it out for a throw. And Ecuador make another change. Gonzalo Plata. We've already seen what the pace of Gonzalo Plata can do in this Copa America. He scored in the draw against Venezuela. Picked up a bit of an injury, which is why he missed the game against Peru. He wasn't fit to start here, but Gonzalo Plata, the Sporting Club de Portugal winger, one of the finest young players in Ecuador, proved his worth already at senior level in this Copa America, and they're hoping that with his pace he can still offer something on the counter as Brazil come forward. Here is Plata, skips away from one challenge, still going and ends up running into traffic. Gets the ball back though, it's over there on the far side with Mena. He's got Plata with him. Here is Gonzalo Plata. And he goes all the way back to Preciado. Mendes. Franco, Preciado, Mendes. An accomplished second half display so far from Ecuador. Ayrton Preciado drops deep to get on the ball and just drifts infield. Switches it out onto the far side for Mena. Mendes. Angelo Preciado. Arboleda. Ecuador patiently just keeping the ball now, trying to lure Brazil further out. Eventually it's hit long in the direction of Ayrton Preciado. Emerson can head that out for a throw. Pervis Estupiñán has to go back to Principe, and he has to go all the way back to Galíndez. Well, the ball almost flicked on there. Gonzalo Plata looking for the ball in behind. It's a wayward pass as Enner Valencia stays down with a little over 15 minutes of normal time remaining. 1-1 draw here between Brazil and Ecuador. Would be enough to see Ecuador through, with the first points dropped of this campaign by Brazil as well. And Venezuela, who still trail Peru, would be going out. Peru would be going through in second if they can hang on to that win. Tomorrow evening, of course, we have the double header from Group A. Although we already know it's Bolivia going out from Group A, we still need to find out the positions and therefore the seedings going into the quarterfinals from Group A. Richarlison and Everton Ribeiro being readied for Brazil here. Still no Neymar. No real need to risk bringing him on at this point, with top spot guaranteed. Casemiro into Fabinho, tries to work it on one more time to Gabriel Barbosa. It's cut out. And it's well played by Gonzalo Plata. Does very well indeed to get it back to Pervis Estupiñán. Galíndez just pumps this one downfield. The ball breaks kindly for Ecuador. They're able to keep the ball. Here's Eugenio Mena. Mena skips away nicely from that challenge and is still going down the right, down away from another. Still going Mena, and eventually crowded out, but does win a throw from Danilo as Leonardo Campana prepares to come on up front for Ecuador. Two changes coming up for Brazil then. Looks as though Everton, there is one of those coming off. And Lucas Paquetá the other. So Everton, Ribeiro and Richarlison enter the fray for the final 15 minutes, more or less, for Brazil. Richarlison did score against Peru earlier in this competition. And so too Everton Ribeiro. Can either man find a winner here this evening? Looks like we'll wait a little while longer for that Ecuador switch to see Campana to come on. Plata crowded out there by two. And Alan Franco steps in to ensure Brazil can't break away. Alan Franco, another one of the Ecuador team that plays his football in Brazil, plays for Atletico Mineiro. But like so many involved in the national team setup, another one of those that came through at Independiente del Valle. Part of the team that won the Copa Sudamericana in 2019 before making that move to Brazil. And he's picked up his side. A free kick here on the far side. It's a good position, this. 5 targets, now 6 blue shirts to aim at in the penalty box. Delivery is whipped in, and Alisson needs to tip that one over the crossbar. An ambitious effort, if indeed the goal was to try and catch out Alisson. The Liverpool keeper had to be aware to that one. Corner kick to Ecuador. Corner flicked up into the air by Fabinho to the edge. Second ball is won. Now it's cleared. Brazil looking to counter, unable to do so. And Ecuador look to spread the ball out wide and come forward again, but there's going to be a change here. It's a player down, so Roberto Tobar blew his whistle to stop play instead. This was the free kick a moment ago that Alisson needed to tip over the top. Not sure if it was creeping in underneath the crossbar or not, but certainly couldn't take any chances. And for the second time this evening, an Ecuador player is going to be going off on a stretcher. Moises Caicedo, of course, already off earlier in the game. Enner Valencia, the latest, immediately indicating to the bench that it needs to be changed. We did see Leonardo Campana just before that being ready to come on, so presumably a straight swap up front. But if indeed Ecuador do progress, as they do so at the moment in 4th place, they're going to be hoping that injuries to Enner Valencia and Moises Caicedo are not serious. Mario Pineda also there, looks ready to come on for Ecuador. Don't know whether that's a change of substitute, whether we'll see him and Campana. And we're back underway with that drop ball, and still waiting on any changes. Well, it does indeed look like we'll get Campana and Pineda. Next time the ball goes out of play. Richarlison. Emerson, and Richarlison sets off down the right, looking for the return. He gets it. Here is Richarlison. And now the ball does go out of play because Richarlison's been hacked down. Pervis Estupiñán picks up a yellow card. Hasn't been booked already in the tournament, so won't miss any potential quarter-final, Estupiñán. And after this stage, will see the yellow card rescinded and will start again from scratch. And now we'll see those changes. Campana just came on a moment ago, replacing Enner Valencia, who was stretchered off a short while ago, and now Mario Pineda will also be on. There is Enner Valencia getting some ice onto that calf. Ayrton Preciado is the other change. So it's a defensive change as Preciado is replaced by Mario Pineda. Plays at full-back for Barcelona of Ecuador. Pineda is yet to play in this year's Copa America, but comes on for the final stages here, looking to help Ecuador hold on to what would still be a fantastic draw if they can hold on for the 1-1. It's headed back well to Galíndez. Estupiñán looks long down the left, looking for Eugenio Mena. He's not going to get there, and he's not going to bother going to give chase. Ecuador now looking increasingly like they're quite satisfied with a 1-1 draw. And well, they might be. Terrific result if it stands. Everton Ribeiro. And it's a good tackle there. And Gonzalo Plata almost able to wriggle away from a couple of challenges. Runs out of space. Brazil have it again. 5 minutes of normal time remain here in Goiânia. 1-1 between Brazil and Ecuador. Still 1-0 to Peru against Venezuela in the other game. If it stays 1-1 here, Venezuela need 2 goals in the final stages of that one to win the game. A draw for them won't be enough. With that in mind, I think Ecuador more than happy with a 1-1 draw. As the low cross comes in, it's a good burst forward from Angelo Preciado at right back. And a decent looking ball across the face of goal that Brazil need to defend. Terrific pass from Jackson Mendes to find that overlapping run of Preciado down the right. Really positive performance in the second half this. The backs against the wall, Ecuador trailing 1-0 at that stage. Still level in the other game as well. And with those scores, it was Ecuador going out. But this second half display has been excellent. Estupiñán lines up the throw again, does so towards Campana, headed away. Only as far as Mena, who nods it down to Estupiñán again. His cross charged down by Emerson, out for a throw. And Estupiñán can maybe wind up another long one. Estupiñán launches it towards Campana again. Brazil defend it well. Headed away, Pineda back to Mendes. And Mendes does well again there in central midfield. Estupiñán with a bit of space down this left-hand side to attack. Cross comes in, it's only Campana up, but Campana wins the header. Not the best contact, wide of the post. Fabinho under a bit of pressure here too, and he manages to keep his cool and turn away from pressure and get the ball back to his goalkeeper and Liverpool teammate Alisson. For a moment looked as though Fabinho was going to be caught there in a very dangerous position. Here he is on the ball again, Fabinho. This time quickly distributes, looking for Richarlison. Estupiñán follows Richarlison and defends it well, and then just hacks it away in the direction of Leonardo Campana, who does it equally well to bring it down under control and lay it off for Mena. Mena hoping to win a throw. Emerson keeps it in play. Gabriel Barbosa. I haven't seen a great deal of Gabriel Barbosa in the second half at all. Space here for Everton Ribeiro. Vinicius inside for Danilo. It's a strong challenge from Jackson Mendes. Strong but fair. Very good game for Jackson Mendes in central midfield for Ecuador. Moises Caicedo, usually the man that steals the headlines, the youngster. But Mendes, the 24-year-old Orlando City midfielder, has played excellently today. Everton Ribeiro. Richarlison skips away from one, crosses. No one's going to challenge. Arboleda heads it into the air. Incape is up, it's going to drop in the box. Richarlison gets there, and there's a shout or a half shout for a penalty. Roberto Tobar had a very clear view of it, right on point, and was not swayed. Brazil come forward again. Emerson. Everton Ribeiro with space on the right. Another cross comes in towards the back post and headed behind for a corner. Well, that was the challenge that saw Richarlison go down. He and Pervis Estupiñán challenging for that bouncing ball. And we're going to have 5 minutes of added time. And Brazil pushing for a winner. It was very late in the day they found their winner against Colombia on Wednesday. Can they do so again in stoppage time here? Reminder, Brazil have won 10 straight coming into this one. So if it does end 1-1, that run of victories comes to an end. And not many people would have probably fancied Ecuador to be the team to do it. It's not a win for Ecuador, but it will certainly feel like one if it's a point that's enough to push them through into the quarterfinals. The wait for a win against Brazil in the Copa America can wait for another year or another day. But a 1-1 draw here in Goiânia would be very positive indeed. Fabinho. Brought down there by Mendes. And Ecuador have a few more minutes that they need to see out here. Cannot make the same mistake Colombia did. Can argue all you want about the referee's involvement in the equaliser, but Colombia, their own worst enemy, is switching off in stoppage time. Vinicius. Casemiro. Goes back to Marquinhos. Marquinhos looking for a forward pass back into Casemiro, who scored that late winner against Colombia. Can't find a forward pass into the penalty area though. And then Marquinhos gives the ball away to Campana. Campana just dawdles in possession there. Needed to get rid of it quicker. Got the ball caught under his feet. Gustavo Alfaro barking instructions to his players for these final few minutes. Fabinho. Marquinhos. Danilo. Brazil, the more threatening. Everton Ribeiro almost gets away from one, and they're going to come back. Was having his shirt pulled by Robert Arboleda initially. Nervous wait on the sidelines. Enner Valencia there was replaced, injured. And on looking now very nervously. It's still 1-0 to Peru in the other game. They too deep in stoppage time. And if it ends like that, then Ecuador don't even need a draw. They'd go through with a win, with a defeat, sorry. But it would be a significant point if they could hold on in terms of just morale, momentum, going through into the quarterfinals. Everton Ribeiro with a free kick, headed away. Maybe an opportunity to counter. They've given the ball away cheaply there. Another chance for Brazil to cross. Arboleda heads away. Hooked back towards goal from Casemiro and over the crossbar. One minute left here of added time, and Eugenio Mena now, I think, the player down. Neymar still enjoying himself, even if Brazil's winning streak is coming to an end. Just a bit of cramp for Mena and Incapié as Ecuador look to hold on. The final few moments here in Goiânia. A relaxed Brazil are still cruising through as group winners and are still very much favourites to defend their Copa America title. Richarlison tries to take the ball down on his chest and turn. Can't do so, loses possession. Ecuador clearing away. Emerson will nod that back to Alisson. Maybe one last opportunity to get the ball forward for Brazil. Can they find the latest of winners? Eder Militao plays a very risky ball across the defence to Marquinhos. Gonzalo Plata almost intercepted. Another risky pass straight across the pitch. And it's too late. Roberto Tobar blows for full time. It ends here. Brazil 1, Ecuador 1. Angel Mena cancelling out Eder Militao's first half goal. And with that point, and Peru's win against Venezuela in Brasilia, Ecuador progress to the quarter-finals. Brazil win the group, Peru finish in second, Colombia in third, and Ecuador take the fourth and final place from Group B. Venezuela crash out.